going on, YouTube? This is going to be an update on the Hisun UTV 550. I did a review probably about maybe a month and a half ago, and there's a lot of things I actually didn't cover. So that'll be what this is about, as well as an update on the performance. As you can tell, there's some mud on there. Last night we had I don't want to even call it a tropical storm, but I guess Tropical Storm Fred came over and knocked some lawn furniture over and maybe a branch or two. Supposed to be some kind of crazy storm, but wound up just being a lot of rain. So me and a few buddies decided to go out in the woods and do some mudding. I'm gonna tell you right now, I sunk this thing. I got the water right up to here. It filled this entire cab up to the seat, and it kept going, believe it or not. After I pulled out, it actually sucked water into, and I'll show you in a second, it sucked water into the belt breather, I guess the breather case, and it started slipping, and it wasn't until I got out of the water that it started slipping and just pretty much stopped moving. So I had to find the plug. There's actually a drain plug on the bottom, which I'll show you guys. So if you ever go anything above, I want to say, like I showed you in the last video, that right there is the breather box for the belt. If you go above that or water gets in there, it's going to get in your belt and it's going to start slipping. And you don't want to run it when it's slipping. You drain it out, let it sit for a few minutes, and then you can usually get back going again. And that's what I did. I actually had to do it twice. Second time we did it, I just stopped dead in the water. We were driving through a bunch of trails, and what looked like trails turned out to be, they were like miniature lakes. It was crazy out there. I wish I would have got some video for you guys, but maybe next time. But yeah, I'm gonna basically wash it off and clean it up and show you a few things that I didn't show you in the first video. So if you didn't see the first video, make sure you go see that first before you watch anything else on here, because there's some things in the first video that I obviously covered that I won't be covering in this one. The first thing I really wanted to say was this thing holds 7 gallons of gas. When I first got it, it was pretty much on empty, and we were able to get right at, I think, 6 3/4 of a gallon. So I think it said 7 in the manual, but it was starting to like drip over the cap here when we filled it up that much. So maybe more like 6 3/4 of a gallon. So it holds a lot. Not bad. I think it lasted me pretty much the entire time I had it. I only filled it once since then, and I've been driving it a lot. So I guess it depends on how fast you're going, how hard you're hitting it, and really what you're driving through, how often you use it. But lately, the last few days, I've been using it. So the second thing is, in the first video, I'm sure you noticed I didn't have a windshield on here. It did come with a windshield. This is the windshield it came with. I took it off when I did that review because it was before we were getting all the rain. And excuse me, sorry, I think I'm getting sick. It was before all that rain we had, and everything was dusty. So if you run a windshield on the front and you have the back open like this here, what happens is that dust just does like a swirl inside the cab, and it blows all over your face, and it's terrible. This windshield is really good for rain or if it's cold out and you don't want that cold air hitting you when you're, driving fast through the woods, whatever, hunting. This is perfect for that. Or like I said, the rain. Yesterday it was raining. But if it's going to be a dry summer day, this is not a good idea. I would either pull that off, let the wind hit you, and it doesn't allow the, obviously the whirlwind effect inside the cab there. Or I would get what a lot of guys do, which is the back. There's another back cover here you could get, and that'll essentially stop that from happening. So just something I would suggest. The other thing, let's see the glove compartment. I think I got it in there. I don't know. Yeah, there it is. So I wanted to show you guys, I mentioned in the first video that this thing came with a winch and it came with a remote. Well, there it is. Can't remember if I put batteries in it or not. I remember, I think it's, yeah, I think I gotta put batteries in it. Oh no, it's got one. I'll have to see what's going on with that. You know, now that I think about it, we did use it actually a while back when I first got it. This is really helpful to have. Obviously, if you're out and, you know, you're alone, getting inside the four-wheeler sometimes isn't the best thing, even though it's got the in and out winch button there. Sometimes you want to be able to see what you're pulling. You know, if you got it wrapped around a tree or something, you want to make sure you're not pulling, you know, the wheels through something that might, you know, snag up or whatever. You can't see inside the cab, so it's kind of a good idea to have both. But and I also mentioned that I leveled this. I took a spanner wrench and I leveled it in the first video. It also came with that spanner wrench, so you actually do get a lot of good stuff with it. You know, you get the spanner wrench, you get the remote, you get the manual, you get a lot of good stuff. You get a trailer hitch. I should have brought it out, but you get a hitch and a ball you can put in there. So, you know, if you want to tow a trailer around the yard, you know, things like that. But other than that, I think that pretty much covers everything else I really wanted to say, honestly. You can tell it's really dirty. It really did go through some hell last night. But we had fun. Oh, it's got a horn. Forgot to show you guys that last time too. It's corny, but actually I've used it a few times. I'm going to tell you, the key's got to be on to hit the horn. I have used it, and the reason why I've had to use it is because when we were out in the woods a few times, people like me, actually, we like to go out and shoot. You got a lot of land out here, you can go out and shoot out there. There's some berms and things like that you kind of drive past that people might not be able to hear or see you when they're shooting guns. So hitting that horn just before you roll over the hill, sometimes it makes it a little easier. They can hear you. So I've used that a few times, and you know, luckily nobody was on the other end of the hill, but you know, just in case, it's good to have, you know, a horn, things like that. So, but anyway, I'm gonna drag it around to the other end of the house here and try and get it cleaned up. So see you guys in a second.